I grew up in a traditional Korean home. Well, my best friend was Korean, but we always ate authentically Korean. Bulgogi, bindaetuk, pepperoni pizza from Domino's. As many times as I ate there, though, his mom was always concerned that I would be able to eat the food. It never occurred to me that, as a Jew, I'm not supposed to eat things like sausage for breakfast. It wasn't until I got to Brandeis and ordered cheese on my steak sandwich that I wondered, am I making a mistake? In Acharei Mot, God commands us regarding the laws, listing a host of idolatrous and sexual prohibitions in case we need them spelled out for us. 3 times we're told to keep the mishpatim, God's laws, and the chukot, God's customs, but only once, in verse 18:3, are we told what not to do. K'ma'aseh eretz Mitzrayim, asher yeshavtem ba, lo ta'asu. U'k'ma'aseh eretz Canaan, asher ani mevi etchem shama, lo ta'asu. U'vchukotehem, lo telechu. You shall not copy the acts of the land of Egypt where you dwelt, or the land of Canaan where I am taking you, nor shall you follow their customs. We're forbidden from the Ma'aseh Eretz Canaan and Eretz Mitzrayim, the acts of those nations. God tells us, don't do things just to fit in. Then there are the Chukotehem. Commentators such as Nachmanides note, Chukotehem are customs. Egypt is code for sexual immorality and Canaan for idolatry. But after telling us to avoid these customs and to try not to pass as a Gentile, the rest is positive. What are they really saying? Not to avoid all mixing in, but not to lose ourselves. Most often we're told what we should do. Follow the chukot, God's customs. Look at Joseph. Everything he got, and ultimately all of the benefits that the Israelites had in the land of Egypt, was on account of his self-restraint. But in his day, he was perhaps the most assimilated person in the world, a high-ranking government official, despite being an immigrant, a convict, and the key figure in a workplace sex scandal. And then there's Moses. He was a statesman, arguing for his people's freedom, and a leader guiding them through the desert. To do so, he had to participate in 2 separate worlds. And even after leading the Israelites to freedom, they went and built a giant cow to worship. But when surrounded by idolaters, he remained faithful and reverent to God and respectful of the wider world. When we think about our Jewish values, we think about love, honor, respect, chesed. Living Jewishly is embodying those ideals. If we wrap our tefillin with the utmost care, make sure to keep all of the chicken out of its mother's milk, respect every last letter of the law, it doesn't mean anything if we have no regard for one another. We have the ability to reason and to decide. That's what it means to have God's words upon our heart. Ceding that in order to blindly adhere to a set of rules is a sacrifice of the gift, especially when it comes at the expense of those full, rich values that the laws are supposed to support. Being Jewish is being free enough to choose. Living Jewishly is choosing. At the end of the 18th century, fearing persecution, assimilation, a group of Jews decided that perhaps by closing themselves off and holding tight, they could preserve the Jewish people. Now, the Haredim see themselves as the only authentic Judaism. Except that they took parts of modernity and froze them along with their Jewish lives. Maybe that's how they saw fit to fulfill Acharei Mot. But they picked non-Jewish styles to emulate. Yiddish, Polish clothing, why not choose to speak and dress like Moshe Rabbeinu? And then there's us. Our movement sees both ethical and ritual mitzvot. The former are those non-negotiable acts that embody our quest for social justice, equality, liberty. The latter are where we see choice. It has always been our belief that we should find a balance between doing what we have been commanded to do and what is meaningful. For us, the problem that the Haredim face is flipped. Sometimes we're more concerned with fitting in as Jews than we are with finding meaning in our Judaism. Fortunately, we fit in well in the non-Jewish world. But what about the Jewish one? When we're questioned about not wearing kippot or tzitzit, how do we respond? Do we don tefillin because it makes us feel closer to God, or because we think that it makes us more Jewish? How does our behavior change when we feel like strangers in a Jewish land? The Torah does not forbid acculturation. So long as we do not lose ourselves, we can live in the world. We always have. Being Jewish is not being anti-Gentile. Being Jewish Americans, American Jews, or any other combination does not make us less Jewish or less of anything. Acharei Mot gives us permission to be hyphens. The hyphen is not a defeat. I'm a better Jew because I'm an American. And I'm a better American because I'm a Jew. Having both in my life is about embracing the values that they embody, complementing one with the other. That's what makes me a Jew. And I can't define what that means for anyone but me. And I can't define your Judaism any more than I would want you, Moses, or the Haredi guy yelling at me and the women of the wall to either. There's a reason God handed down these rules as the Israelites first tasted freedom. That hyphen of acculturation is what makes Judaism stronger. And we can only fulfill Acharei Mot's charge when we learn to embrace acculturation.